The one constant for a tourist destination like Las Vegas is change. But there's at least one place that takes visitors back to Southern Nevada's roots, and that's the Clark County Museum. 13 Action News' Jordan Gartner takes you on an authentic trip back in time.
The Clark County Museum is home to an array of artifacts, preserved buildings, and a space where visitors can explore Southern Nevada's history firsthand.
Kind of go through the history of our area from prehistoric all the way to our current industry.
Acting Administrator Amber Colbert says the museum is 30 acres and located in Henderson, just off of Boulder Highway. It's about a 30-minute drive from the Las Vegas Strip and a perfect stop on the way to Boulder City.
So we're actually one of the oldest museums in Las Vegas. We started in 1968 in a small high school gymnasium, the town site high school gymnasium. Wasn't quite the appropriate place, so eventually they needed new land. City of Henderson owned this land here. They said, we'll give that to you. So the county stepped in and said, you know what, we're gonna back this. You can be part of the county system. And the county took it over, took this land over, and we eventually got a building. And we were looking for a building, and just so happened in Boulder City, the railroad depot needed to be moved. So we moved it here, and that housed our original museum.
Visitors are first welcome to the Anna Roberts Parks exhibit. She was an avid collector, and her exhibit takes those through a timeline of Southern Nevada history.
So the Ann Roberts Exhibit Hall is a building that was built in 1996 to feature some of the artifacts of our big collection of over 1 million artifacts. So you go in and it's actually set up like a timeline. Each thing has a diorama where you can kind of immerse yourself into what our history was, all the way to our current industries and industries we've had in the past of weddings and gaming and all those casinos that came and have gone and were constantly changing. And then we have, at the end of our timeline, we're featuring the 1 October incident, because that is the most current thing that kind of have a big dramatic effect on our community.
One of the more interesting parts of the museum is Heritage Street, a tree-lined avenue with 8 historic structures from Southern Nevada that were all relocated to the museum.
We have Heritage Street, which we're standing on right now, which is where we have moved historical homes from all over Southern Nevada to preserve them, and so that the visitor can come in and experience what it was like to live in Southern Nevada in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. We include a wedding chapel from Las Vegas Boulevard that you can walk into, kind of figure out what it was like to walk into those little tiny wedding chapels.
Among the buildings on display is the 1912 Beckley House, a Las Vegas structure relocated from the downtown area.
So walking through, it's like stepping back in time, but making that connection to the community that we live in now. So when you walk through, for example, the Beckley House, which is behind me, this was built in 1912. He wanted to build her a house. So in 1912, he built her this house for $2,500. It's a craftsman bungalow. It was down on 4th Street. You can walk into that now, and it actually has furnishings that were from the Beckley family. And you can see what it was like when they lived here in 1920.
Another real-life display at the museum is the 1932 Boulder City Depot, where the collection of railroad cars include a real 1918 Union Pacific steam engine, along with a few other items from the 1930s.
The railroad depot has been restored to what it would have looked like when it was in Boulder City and serving the building of Hoover Dam. So if you walk inside, you'll see a large floor scale where they weighed the things before they put them on the train. You'll hear a telegraph in the background. So it kind of steps back to that 1930s train depot.
The museum costs visitors $2 for adults and $1 for children. It is open daily from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., with fall being one of the best times to visit.
Right now we're hitting that perfect temperature where it's nice, and on this shaded street during the afternoon, it's quite nice when a breeze comes by. Mornings are absolutely gorgeous here. We have a little bit of wildlife that come out. We have some hawks, some roadrunners, maybe a coyote here and there. Of course, lots of cottontail rabbits running around. Looking
ahead, the museum will be adding to its displays with a new storage exhibit coming online soon that will house more of the 1 October items from that time.
Finally have a great state-of-the-art building. It's 4,000 square feet. That's actually where we're going to house the whole 1 October collection together. We actually measured shelves out to make sure that they'll fit all the crosses in one row of shelves, so they'll all be together, they'll all be preserved for the future.
Where changes are constant nowadays, the Clark County Museum is a place where we can all explore the rich and colorful history of Southern Nevada. Reporting, Jordan Gartner, 13 Action News.